Okay, I feel like making another video, but I have no idea what to talk about, so I just thought I'd try the old hit record and see what comes to mind thing. Um, it's just such a, well, I don't know. I can't really call it necessarily a beautiful day, but compared to what's gonna end up coming, and I guess it is. Come on, brain, you can do something, you can come up with something. Well, let's try this. One thing that kind of bums me out is how much things have changed since I was like a teenager and stuff. Like when I was a teenager, like all growing up and when I was a teenager, there were these beautiful things for that a movie enthusiast like myself, of course, was very appreciative of, called video stores, you know. And movie enthusiasts obviously love video stores, you know. And I worked at several video stores. And I'd probably still be working at a video store. I know, like, great career goal, but whatever. I guess if you can get by doing it, do it. So, I don't know, so much over the years has just, that I grew up with and got used to and embraced has just disappeared over the years, and it took a while for this for you to even necessarily notice it because it happens so slow. And obviously this is something that I guess just happens to every generation as time goes on. I mean, I mean, imagine how different things were. My mom and dad's parents, they lived into their 90s. My mom's parents both lived into their mid 90s. And imagine the change, that happened between, from their teenage years to when they were almost dead, I mean, I guess it's inevitable, but, change. But I guess it's, going back to the last topic, getting older, or whatever the hell that video is called. Probably something like how I feel about getting old. I guess that's just one of the things that obviously comes with getting older, is things changing, because like when you're a teenager, it's so much about like, this is how things are, and I don't know, there's something about, for me, and I think it happens to a lot of people, the first 20 years of your life is kind of the template, for the rest of your life. Basically, it's when you become who you're gonna be, and you learn everything and the way things are and how shit works, and not everything, but how the basic shit works. And what I found, as time goes on, and I creeped up through my early mid late 20s and early mid now late 30s, is kind of like shit, everything that I got used to and everything that I guess was my reality in the first 20 years of me growing up, is so much of it is now gone. Like, just, I don't know, I can't really think of anything else but video stores. But I mean, there's others, music stores. I'll watch a movie and they'll be like, holy shit, they're at a music store. Or even if you watch Career Opportunities, there's those racks of tapes, cassette audio tapes, and in those stupid plastic, steel, to prevent stealing, theft-proof packaging shit, and it's just like, not that I like cassettes, but it's just like, it's nostalgia, and it happens for everyone, the way things were when you were younger is just like, you took it for granted when you were younger. It's just like, that's how it is. There's music stores, there's video stores, you don't think anything about it. And all of a sudden, and we have a jogger. Hold on. And all of a sudden, before you know it, everything that you grew up with, or not everything, but maybe so much of what you grew up with, it just doesn't exist anymore. And you reach a point, all of a sudden, maybe not all of a sudden, but over the years, it's just like, holy shit, and I guess what I'm getting at is so much of this stuff, like if you're a movie fan like I am, video stores are a part of your life. You like getting to video stores, whether you're renting movies or buying previously viewed movies or whatever. It's like, it's where you go as a movie fan, It's like if all the, sporting stadiums closed and all the sporting fans, didn't have sports to go to, It'd be the same thing. Or if you're any enthusiast about any whatever, And another thing is, I don't really like the frickin' the corporate movie theaters now. There's this one movie theater that I've been going to for 10 years that this year I went to a movie in the spring, not having gone to one since October. Then I went and saw something in April, and they had completely changed the whole theater to this reclino chair shit and reserved seating, and just like, before the movie there were people coming around with, iPads or something, some kind of wireless, computing thing, trying to sign people up for the, rewards program. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, whatever happened to going early to a theater to get a good seat? Now you can just this goes back to just my, just not really liking technology, just the over exploding of being able to do shit on your fucking phone. Now you can order tickets on your phone and pick your goddamn movie seat on your fucking phone. And what ends up happening, of course, for someone who's kind of socially anxious or maybe has social anxiety or whatever, I mean, I don't like sitting next to, strangers, or at least, guy strangers. And what happened I went to this theater twice and then just gave up this year. What happened the second time I went is, you've got to if you don't pick your seat before you go, you have to pick your seat when you get there. And then you got someone else who sits next to me, and it's just like there's all these seats empty in front of me, and I just moved after 15 minutes into the movie. I'm like, I don't want to sit right next to these people. Whatever happened to me, that's just like, it's not an improvement. In the good old days, it's just like in the good old days, to get a good seat, you go early. It's just bullshit. So, I don't know, I was getting off on a tangent on something, but it's just like, yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, it's like your grandparents, it's like you reach a point where some people, like throughout their whole lives, like certain grandmas or whatever, are constantly, in my opinion, kind of I won't say that, but some grandmas, like, conform their whole lives to the current status quo, and some people, like my grandparents, like how, like, for example, my grandparents, they redid their interior. The last time they redid their interior or whatever was like in the 50s or something, and of course the house just looks like that. It's kind of where you reach a point where you just stop caring about what's new, and you just, I don't know, you're just fine with how things were before. It's like you don't need to change, or you don't need to change your house or your car or what you wear. You know how old people wear just old clothes. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad against it. It's completely, I'll probably be wearing what I'm wearing 40, oh Christ, I don't expect to be here 40 years from now, but there reaches a point where you stop, depending on your personality, where you stop adjusting or conforming to the norm, What the hell is the topic of this video? I don't know. I think it was something to do with, the interruption got me all flustered. Something to do with just, as you get older, things change or whatever, and things that you grew up with are no longer. My feet are getting cold. This will be the last video for today, and like I say, enjoy this no snow, because probably until April, you're not going to see it like this again around here. I don't know if I can live with it. I don't know if I can deal with it. Like there were two people who were walking a dog who just passed me a while back in the interruption. And they were just like, and it's, you might ask, well, how can you tell just based on just a moment of interaction? But in my opinion, they were just kind of like just the average people are like, just like, oh, you see, that thought I was out here to film, wildlife. And it's just like, I'm not. And anyway, whatever. I just, again, it's just whatever. So I think I'm talked out for right now, and my feet are getting frickin' cold, and it's actually getting dark, believe it or not, because after all it's 4, so it's gonna get dark. Oh my stars, I don't know if I can make it through the winter, man. I really don't know, man. I really don't know. I think what I'm going to do in regards to a job, and I even was gonna do this after the last horrible 4-day job, but then I was like, I felt like talking about it, and I've got no one to tell it to. But I think what I'm going to do is, next time I get a job or any prospect, depending on whatever, I guess if I'm excited, whatever. But I think the plan is to basically just not say anything about it, and 2, 3, 4 weeks into the job, if it's good, I'll say, hey, by the way, I've got this job that I don't hate. Because I don't know, it's kind of getting a little lame to be like, yeah, I got a job. And then just spend 4 weeks saying I hate this job, So I don't know. We'll just see what goes on. But if I ever get a job again, maybe I'll just wait until I see what until I see what it's like to decide until I mention it or not. And if I end up quitting or whatever, I'll just won't mention it. But I don't know. Whatever. Guess that does it for me today on this, basically the 1/3 through November, all the closer to April. That's another way to look at it. Like, made it a 1/3 through November, so spring is just around the corner. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and you can be sure to catch me on the next video.